Did we just go from a dynasty to a rebuild? This is one of the worst Super Bowl hangovers that we have seen. Now, it's definitely a thing. You look at the past, and teams do fall after they win the Super Bowl, and we are experiencing it full throttle. But, you know, it's a little interesting with the Eagles because, one, we're experiencing it as fans, so it's different. But we had this promise, this look into the future. We're going to be the next Patriots. I mean, essentially, that's what we were saying after we won the Super Bowl. We got this young quarterback in Carson. This defensive line is amazing. This head coach is outstanding. No one, and I mean no one, is playing better this year than we were last year. As a core and as individual positions. I'll start with the coaching staff, head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. I know the OC is different, but not playing better. Quarterback is not playing better. The running back core is not playing better. Our linebackers, I mean, seriously, is Nigel Bradham and Jordan Hicks even doing anything? Our offensive line has been atrocious. Lane Johnson, are you having fun? Wide receivers? What, tight end? Zach Ertz, is he playing better? You can argue that. Cornerbacks, absolutely not. Defensive line, definitely not. The defense as a whole, creating turnovers, nope. No one is playing better. And interesting enough, before the season started, on paper, we looked better. But you got to look at it now. Now I'm looking into the future. This team doesn't have it, okay? That loss was so demoralizing, I can't see the Eagles ever coming back from it. It was that much of a dominating performance. They just have no fight. The locker room's not the same. Everyone's heads down. Well, according to Doug P., pick your head up. That's what he said in the locker room. Keep your head up, guys. Keep your head up. No, keep it down. Experience this pain. Because what you provided was unacceptable. Feel the pain. Feel the pain, in my opinion. But you look at this. I mean, we're going to lose linemen. We're going to lose maybe Golden Tate. What's the situation there? We need to draft running backs. Look at what we need to draft. Linemen, a running back, DBs, linebackers. I mean, there's a ton of holes in the future for this team. So this dynasty fell into a retool and a rebuild real quickly, in my opinion. Real quickly. Now, I want to read some things I heard about yesterday's game. And Peter King came out and said this, and he was sitting in on the Saints coaching staff when they were discussing how they were going to win this football game. And originally they said, let's attack 22. Who's 22? Sidney Jones, of all people. Let's attack him with the run game, with throwing, attack him. You're talking about Trey Sullivan out there, Rasul Douglas, all these players, Ballsby out there, and they want to attack Sidney Jones. That concerns me. That tells me Sidney Jones might not be what we expected him to be. Whether his talent is there or not, can't stay healthy. He might be just one of those players that's consistently getting injured. But he hasn't been the shutdown corner I expected him to be. And the next thing they said is, let's have Wentz win them the game. Because here's your stats. Wentz is 1-11 when the D allows 28 points. Also, 0-9 when he throws between 308 yards and 364 yards. But all that stat says is, that's when Doug Pederson loses the run game. That's when Doug gives up on the run completely and he's just making Carson throw it. So that's not a Carson stat. That's more of a head coaching, play calling stat. But that's what Sean Payton was saying. That was their mindset going into the game. But that brings me to Carson Wentz. And of course he had a horrendous game. Players have bad games. But the amount of Nick Foles support popping out, as if Nick Foles is just going to come in here and just win every single game. It's hilarious. Carson Wentz is our quarterback. We've been waiting how long for a franchise guy? We finally get him. I heard people calling in today saying, let's not even give him a contract extension. That's a joke. What, are you just going to let Carson Wentz walk and then have to draft another quarterback to keep him on a rookie deal? That's laughable. Carson Wentz deserves a legitimate contract. Keep in mind, though, that affects how we have to retool and rebuild this team, because we're going to have to give up a lot of money to Carson. But that's the NFL. That's how it works. You look around the league. I mean, look at Big Ben. He gets paid. You have weapons around him. Every quarterback gets paid in this league at some point, and then you have to adjust from there. Guys like Tom Brady, they rework their contracts, and, you know, Howie obviously does that. But I forgot to mention, when I said everyone has not been better, that includes Howie Roseman and the offseason that we had. And it's funny because before the season started, we were all cheering this was the best. We're even better. Man, oh man, is this a disaster. Absolute disaster. One thing I saw was Jim Schwartz. And I saw this on Twitter, that he's allowing 28 points per game. And that is an average. Last year, we had 28.6. So if we scored over 28 points a game, we'd be 9-1. But that's a faulty statistic. I'm not buying. That's elementary. I'm not buying it. You know why? Because this D doesn't create turnovers. So our turnovers last year, we cashed in on them. They're not getting to the quarterback. They're not picking off balls. They're not getting any interceptions. They are not creating turnovers, which put our team in the position to score more points. Absolutely, our team needs to score more. No doubt about it. But that is a flawed statistic. And lastly, this Eagles were a fluke. They were a fluke. Okay, first off, last year was not a fluke. We went 13-3. We beat the Falcons. We beat the Minnesota Vikings. And don't give me that Saints would have beat you thing. It doesn't matter. It's an irrelevant argument. And then we beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. It wasn't a fluke. We're going through a Super Bowl hangover, without a doubt. One of the worst. But it's essentially like we get made fun of for winning one Super Bowl. Like, you're a fluke. You only won one Super Bowl. It just makes me laugh a little bit. I'm devastated. I'm hurt without a doubt. I am bummed. I'm crushed. And I'm not saying it's okay because you won a Super Bowl. It's just funny that the notion of, you're a fluke, you only won one. Well, we had 0, right? So, would you rather have 1 and get made fun of for not winning another? Or have 0 and just keep getting made fun of? I'll take the 1. That doesn't mean this isn't horrendous what we are going through right now. We are experiencing a legitimate Super Bowl hangover. But my thing is, did we go from Dynasty to rebuild real quick? Or Dynasty to retool? Because it seems that way when you look at this roster and what the moves are that we have to make for the future. And where we're going to draft. And who we're going to lose. And signing Carson to this big contract. We might not be in the best position as we thought we would be moving into next season. I'm out on this one, okay? Whether we win the division, which I can't believe people still think that's a possibility, or not, it doesn't matter because we have no chance of winning the Super Bowl at all. So I don't care. I don't care. Whoever wins this division, you're not going to beat the Rams. You're not going to beat the Saints. Hell, you might not even beat the Bears. This is devastating. Without a doubt, devastating. And I could have never imagined this happening in a million years, but this is it. I mean, this is the legit truth of it. We're going to have to go into a big retooling stage from here. Not one player has been playing better this season. Not one. Not one coach. Not the general manager. And we're going to have to figure it out. We're going to have to figure it out. But it's been a mess. Let me know what you think down below. I'll see you guys next time.